Hello fellow photographers, my name is Brian Lovelace. I'm a portrait and wedding photographer based out of Los Angeles, California. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will be teaching you how I completely control Lightroom using two Behringer X-Touch Mini MIDI controllers. This guy right here. I use one of these to control nearly all of my Lightroom develop functions and another to control some of my favorite presets by Maston Labs. My setup saves me a lot of time by taking my hands away from my mouse and keyboard and placing them on this, which is a tactile interface that is simple and easy to navigate. Let me show you how it works and how you can set this up for yourself on both your Mac or your PC. Let's get right on into it. First off, I've taken the layout inspiration from the pFixer Mini setup, a software and controller-based program made solely for Mac users. So being a PC user, I needed something that was similar, but it couldn't break the bank. I stumbled across a piece of software called MIDI 2LR, a completely open source Lightroom plugin that works with both Macs and PCs. I was able to map out my controllers using the extremely intuitive software to best suit my needs. Let me show you how much easier it is to edit than a traditional mouse and keyboard setup. Alright, so let's talk about how the controllers are laid out. First off, I've got two layers on each panel. I've got layer A and I've got layer B. Each one of these layers actually has different functionality, so it gives different functionality to the same buttons and knobs. So layer A here, it's going to control my exposure, it's going to be able to control my contrast, the black level, the shadow level, highlights, whites, and I've got a couple other cool ones in here like my clarity slider, and also this one's going to be very useful to the crooked shooters here. I've got a straighten angle so I can actually straighten out my images while I'm going through. Layer A also has next button functionality. And let's go back to this image. Let's just bump up exposure a little bit. It has a before and after button, so give it a second. Before and after, before and after. Reset button obviously takes everything back to normal. Crop button brings up your crop panel, so it's easy. All you have to do is just bring out your mouse. You can either lock it, and then everything's based with your mouse. Let's reset again. So there's an undo. So undo reset settings. And there's a paste previous. I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't have anything in my previous settings, so because I just launched Lightroom. But there are other cool functions as well that actually make it really fast to edit. So I've got a few images that look the same in a row here. Let's do a really quick edit on this image. And we will paste it to the next images very easily. So say that's what I want right there. Then all I have to do is I can go back into my layer A. I can start selecting to the right. When I select to the right here, all I have to do is press the sync button. Now watch this. Press escape. That's going to go back to your main image. And the next images in that series are all going to be edited and ready to go already. So you can imagine as a wedding photographer going through your images, this is going to speed up your process a lot. You don't have to touch a keyboard, you don't have to touch your mouse at all unless you're doing any cropping, and it's going to just completely make your edits faster and way less painful. So another thing I forgot to mention is that what if you need to go back, but you don't want to go back all the way? Say you've adjusted your exposure and it's way too much and you just want to go back to the regular. Just a double tap on the knob will actually take things back to where they were. Another thing you can do is you can copy your settings. So say, well, I already adjusted this one, so let's go back to this guy. You can copy, and then the second you go into this one, since I already changed it, you can press paste, and bada bing, bada boom, you're totally set up and ready to go. There's a match exposure settings. So say I wanted to match this one to these ones over here. Then all I have to do is hit match. Now watch, if I go over, they're matched up perfectly. I didn't even have to do anything. Really, really, really easy. So let's move on to layer B. Layer B is going to be a little bit more complicated. It's going to involve our temperatures, tint, vibrance, saturation, and along with adjusting the point curve using the parametric shadows, parametric darks, lights, and highlights. And then we're going to go into the fact that I've got different layers within a layer. So this is a basic panel. This is a hue panel. That's a saturation panel. And that's a luminance panel. So as you can see, there's colors that coordinate with each one of these buttons on the dials as well. So we're in layer B, and say we want to warm up the image. Oopsies, I'm still in the wrong layer. That's my fault. So all you have to do is start dialing that up. Obviously way too much there. And you can obviously adjust your tint, your vibrance, saturation, parametric darks, parametric shadows, parametric lights, and parametric highlights. So being a Mastin user, let's go back to a regular Mastin preset. A lot of us use a thing called the J trick. Now I've found that the J trick is very useful, but sometimes I don't like pressing my keyboard. What I've done is all I have to do is give it a double tap here and watch this. Already done. Bring my shadows down, bring my highlights up, and as you can see, the clipping layers are actually going to start showing up on the screen. So no more hunting around for that J key or doing anything like that. So let's move on to just to reset the J trick. All you have to do is double tap again. And you can start adjusting saturation, vibrance. Give it a little bit of a post-crop vignette, which I have set on these up here. Say something really wacky is going on with her skin. Let's just take it like that. Then what you can do is you can switch from a basic panel. So basic is going to include just the generic saturation, vibrance, shadows, darks, that kind of thing. And if you turn that one off and go over to the hue, you can actually start adjusting hue straight from this without touching your sliders at all. Same thing goes for saturation. Say her skin's too saturated. Then same thing. Take your orange panel, take it down. Or you want it more saturated, take it up. Double tap to reset. And there's a whole bunch of other things you can program too. So let's show you luminance. So same thing with the luminance sliders. And it doesn't just work with the orange. It works with the red, the orange, the yellow, the greens, the aquas, the blues, the purples, and the magentas. So you can do whatever you want and adjust it however you want straight from the panel without having to actually touch your mouse. So now we're going to get into the layer B of the buttons down here. So layer B is essentially for people who do cull in Lightroom. So what you can do is you can actually set your labels to red, yellow, green, blue. And what you can also do is you can add stars. So there's a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star. And you can also do what my personal favorite is picking. So pick. And then if you need to unpick, then you just remove flag. Say you're going through your image and you want to turn off the information. Or you want to cycle through the information without touching your keyboard. So you can see what I shot with. You can say, oh, okay, well, it was shot on September 10th, 2016 with a Canon 6D. And it was 1/25 of a second f2.8 ISO 100 at 75 millimeters with the beautiful Canon 70 to 200 IS2. So you can always cycle through that. And then another cool thing is, say you're looking at your monitor and everything is really, really busy, and you say, well, I want to edit this and solely be able to focus on the image. Then watch this. So all I have to do is be in layer B. I hit this button right here, and it turns the lights out. So I can actually come in through here, adjust my temperature, adjust my tint, and I can get it exactly the way I want it without having to even look at sliders or do anything like that. Now we have a beautiful image that we've edited without even looking at our screen at all. So now what I can do is I can select right. Oopsies, I'm in the wrong layer. That's my fault. Go back to layer A, select right, press the sync button, escape, and then look at everything already matches up. You haven't even looked at Lightroom. You're totally doing this without any optical feedback from your eyes at all. You're just solely looking through your images and getting things done. I mean, look at that. I didn't even have to do anything, and it creates a beautiful image just like that. You can go in, adjust, and then sync up again if you need to. It's totally unlimited, the possibilities that you can do with this setup. So let's turn the lights back on, and we can show you the next panel. So the next panel is based all off of presets. So if you're a Mastin user like I am, you can set it up completely to work with Mastin. So obviously I've got this is my color layer here. So I've got Fuji 400H, I've got Fuji 400 Blue, 160 NS, Portra 160, Portra 400, Portra 800. And then on the bottom layer, I have got all the Mastin black and white presets. So I've got the Pan F medium format, HP 535, HP 5 medium format, Delta 3200 35mm, and Delta 3200 medium format. So let's go in, and we're going to create a gorgeous black and white image from this shot. Beautiful, just like that. But say you are a Mastin user and you say, well, what about using the all hard or the all soft or the highlight soft or the shadow soft buttons? How do I do that? Check it out. I go into layer B, and I've got it all set up already. So like before, all black and white presets are on the bottom. So if I go all hard, beautiful. If I go all soft, you obviously need to do some exposure adjustments, but you have the same looking image. Highlight hard. There's highlight soft. There's shadow hard. And then there's shadow soft. Right there. So you just need to adjust your exposure for whichever look that you're going for. Very easy. But guess what? You can do the same thing with color presets. So we're going to go back into layer A, Fuji 400H. Beautiful image. Here we go. I'm going to apply a little bit of a post-crop vignette on that because I think it'll just make it pop a little bit more. Then I'm going to take my shadows down and my darks down and my highlights up just a little bit. Okay, beautiful. Now, go into layer B again, and all of the ones on top here are for the all hard, all soft, highlight soft, shadow hard, shadow soft for the color presets, because Mastin keeps it united between the color and the black and white. So check it out. So if I go all hard, that's the result. All soft, that's the result. Obviously, I have to turn down exposure a little bit, but that's the look. Highlight hard. Gonna need to expose up a little bit. Highlight soft. Oopsies. That's highlight soft right there. So you just need to adjust your exposure a little bit. Shadow hard. Come on. So that's shadow hard. And that's shadow soft. So all you have to do is you can go through all of these presets, and without having to use your mouse up here and move back and forth, all you have to do is be hitting buttons and twisting dials. So you can do the same things at the same time. Like I want to go back to Portrait 160 because I think that this image looks great in Portrait 160. So we're going to turn up the exposure, and I'm going to turn down my post-crop vignette, and then I'm going to go down here. I'm going to take my darks down, and I'm going to bring my highlights up just a little bit, and you have a very vibrant image with just a couple seconds of editing. You can't do that any other way. So other options on the top panel that I have implemented because I feel like they are important to me, I've got post-crop vignetting, so you can adjust the amount, so you can like way overdo it. Obviously we're not going to way overdo it. And you can adjust the midpoint. So we're going to bring that right in on her, so she is the main focus of attention. Then you can feather it out a little bit. You can even bring the amount back in a little bit. And then another thing is if you like matching film a lot, what you can do is you can change your grain amount. So let's see, we can use our mouse to come in here. And we're just going to keep on adding some grain, And you can see the detail coming in there. There's that beautiful filmy grain that we got on there. But say you say, oh, well, I did not mean to do that. Double click. Boom, it's gone away. Gone away forever. And you can watch the feedback on the dials watching it go away. So another tool for some people who don't shoot portraits is going to be the dehaze tool. So I've got my dehaze tool for whenever I'm shooting stars or whenever I'm shooting landscapes. And so I can take that back down. And then also another thing that kind of bugs me is that the Mastin presets already have lens corrections built into them. So I kind of like the natural vignette that comes with my lenses. So I usually always take the vignetting scale back down. So that's a good way to do it. And even if I wanted the lens corrections off, I've set it so that if I double tap here, it completely turns my lens corrections on. If I double tap here, it turns them back on. Off, on, off, on. So much easier than moving a mouse around, finding your preset, and then lens corrections off, lens corrections on, lens corrections off, lens corrections on. So essentially what you're doing is you're going to be taking everything digital that you've been using with your mouse and your hands on your keyboard, and you're going to be putting them on an interface that is tactile, useful, and makes your workflow insanely fast. So let's jump on in to setting this bad boy up. Alright everybody, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the link in the description and download the file from my Google Drive. It's going to bring up in a window something like this. All you need to do is hit this little download button, and it's going to download it to your download location. So I'll show it in the folder. All you have to do is unzip it. I use 7-zip, however, if you're on Mac or PC, you might have a different way of doing it. Extract it, open it up, and then the first thing that we have to do is we have to map out our MIDI controllers for Lightroom. So go into the Xtouch editor v-2.1, and you're going to open up the xtouch.exe application. So if you have two controllers, I recommend doing this one at a time. So what you're going to do is I have my basic controller plugged in right now, and all you need to do is you need to load the presets from your computer. So there is Xtouch Mini 1. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to load new presets onto your device. So I'm going to click load. It's going to ask, are we going to overwrite the current editor presets? Yes, we are. And we're going to go into the folder I sent, and it's going to be the X-Touch Mini Profiles. So since I'm using my basic develop panel, not my preset panel, I'm going to add layer A to my device. So double click develop panel layer A. It says load preset completed successfully. Please press close to continue. And all you have to do is you have to dump A. Yes, I really want. Okay, dump successfully. Load another one. Yes. We go back and we go layer B. Close. And then dump B. Yes. Close. And you're good. So if you have a second controller, what I recommend is closing this, unplugging it, unplugging your current controller, and then plugging in your second controller like I have. So I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to double click X-Touch again. There's my controller again. And we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to go load. Yes. We're going to go that, layer A, close. And then you're going to be dumping A. Yes. We're going to be loading, load, layer B, dump B. Yes. Close. Now all you have to do is close that out, and let's move right on into installing MIDI to LR. So MIDI to LR, go back into the folder I sent. There's the MIDI to LR plugin. So go in here, copy the MIDI to LR plugin, copy it, and find a place that's safe on your drive that you still have write privileges to. So I don't recommend anything like program files or a place that MIDI to LR can't actually write its own files to. So I've put MIDI to LR in my documents. I've made a folder in here called MIDI to LR. Just right click to make a new folder, and then enter, and then paste in your MIDI to LR plugin right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back, and you're going to open up Lightroom now. Alright, now that we have Lightroom open, what we're going to do is we're going to go File, we're going to go to the Plugin Manager, and all you need to do is click Add, and find where you located your MIDI to LR plugin. So mine's obviously in my documents, MIDI to LR, and then just double click on that or select folder down here, and it's going to pop up and show you the plugin right here in the Lightroom Plugin Manager. Alright, so click Done, and now we actually need to restart Lightroom. So close Lightroom. Alright, so we're going to start Lightroom up again. And this time you're going to see MIDI to LR start in the foreground. So what we have to do is we have to go back out, back into the files that I sent out, go to the MIDI to LR X-Touch Mini mapping files. Go in there, and you're going to copy all these. Copy them, and then again, you're going to find a safe place to keep these. You can either do My Documents again, or just some place where you're not going to lose them. I've put mine in my Brian_000, which is my, I guess, my username. And I've put it in a Lightroom MIDI data, and I've told myself, do not move or remove this. So in there, then just paste them in, and you'll be done. So minimize that, go back into Lightroom, go to Settings, make sure Enable Pickup Mode is enabled, and you're going to want to go to Choose Profile Folder. So go in here, and you're going to want to go up, 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 and since I put mine in my users and Brian_000, then I've put it in here. So you just select that folder, click Open, and everything should be set up. What you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to load, and you're going to want to load the basic panel _xtouch_mastin. And now what you need to do is bring this panel up again, bring it to the side, put Lightroom on the other side, and then go into Plugin Extras, Options, and then what you have to do is, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but you have to go to Profiles, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to copy the XML files over to the profile. So profile 1 is going to be basic panel _xtouch_mastin. So I'm going to totally delete mine out of here just to show you. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy this. Make sure you get the full name. That one goes into profile 1. And then it goes in a different order. It goes hue, saturation, luminance. So copy the hue, paste it in there, copy the saturation, paste it in profile 3, and then copy the luminance and copy it and then paste it in profile 4. Click OK, and that should be good. If you go to develop now, what you should be able to find is that your MIDI controller is actually controlling your devices the way that you want them to. So if I am in layer B of the basic panel, I can hit luminance is changing to basic, and then hue, and then saturation, and then luminance. That should all be right. And if you start pressing with your dials and stuff, then guess what? Your temperatures are going to change, your exposures are going to change, and you should be looking at exactly what we're going for. Alright, so there's a couple more housekeeping things to do that are just to make it so that your panel matches up precisely with mine. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go down into Plugin Extras. You'll see MIDI to LR right there. Go to Options. And it takes a second to pop up, but you're going to want to go over to Other. And you're going to want to start adding in these shortcut keys. I'm going to provide a screenshot of these inside of the download folder that you can download and check out yourself. So what you're going to want to do is, if it says short key 1, you're going to want to say I, short key 2, L, shortcut 3, type in escape, shortcut key 4, return, shortcut key 5 is going to be J, shortcut key 6 is going to be, shortcut key 5 is going to be Alt J, no reference to the band there. Shortcut key 7 is going to be Control Alt Shift M. Shortcut key 8 is just going to be a /. Shortcut key 9 is going to be Control Alt V, and shortcut key 10 is going to be just B, and shortcut key 11 is going to be Control Alt Shift D. These are all very important to make the board run exactly the way you want it to run and the way that I have it set up. The other thing is that if you did do the second panel, you can actually go in and change your develop preset settings. So I have mine set to this. I'll share a screenshot of this as well. If you have the Mastin presets, I highly recommend you follow this guideline. But if you don't, then you can actually make your own develop presets for the other panel. And I will show you how to program them in an upcoming video. Alright everyone, that just about wraps up my video showing you MIDI to LR and how to set up the Behringer X-Touch Mini MIDI controllers to greatly speed up your workflow. If you need any assistance setting up your controller, please leave me a comment below or send an email to brian@brianlovelace.com. Also, if you have any feature requests or more advanced questions, I highly recommend you joining the MIDI to LR Google user group, which I will also link in the description. If you found this video useful, please like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to try to be posting more content about how technology can help both beginner and professional modern photographers. As always, I really appreciate your time in watching my video, and I'll see you next time.